A recently leaked document has surfaced, revealing Prigozhin's detailed scheme to lead an expedition towards Moscow with the intention of apprehending Shoigu. However, things didn't unfold as planned, making it an intriguing revelation. Furthermore, there are reports of a brewing uprising, led by Igor Gherkin, a Russian nationalist figure who criticized Putin's leadership, predicting a resistance-free rebellion. We've previously mentioned the potential deal between Putin and Prigozhin, which could lead to complications in the future. Before delving into more serious matters, let's share a humorous cartoon that cleverly satirizes the current events, featuring unexpected shocks for Putin, a former chef's power grab, an agreement between war criminals, and a popular comment from our viewers. Now, onto the news. The leaked document highlights that the Russian Ministry of Defense was forewarned about Wagner's intention to move equipment across Russia. However, this seemingly served as a ruse to capture and remove Defense Minister Shoigu and Chief of General Staff Gerasimov. The document suggests that Wagner Group representative Andrei Trochev informed the MOD leadership of the equipment transfer, and Russian Air Force Chief Sergei Surovikin, who has apparent ties to Wagner, vouched for their good conduct during the operation. Nevertheless, Surovikin appears to have been aware of the planned mutiny, leading to his disappearance and subsequent questioning by FSB agents. Shoigu discovered the true nature of the force movement and reported it to Putin, warning him of a potential coup d'état against his leadership. In response, preventative measures were taken to neutralize the conspirators without revealing their involvement, aiming to maintain stability among the military at the front. Currently, there's consideration to present a public image of Surovikin returning to duty to ease tensions with the military. This move is designed to prevent any uncontrolled developments while maintaining the authority of Surovikin over Gerasimov and Shoigu. I am perplexed by Russia's expectations of success in this war, given that Putin's officers consistently deceive and silence anyone attempting to reveal the truth. Surovikin, highly esteemed among soldiers, is one of the few commanders credited with Russia's limited accomplishments. His sudden disappearance could have highly detrimental consequences for Russian forces, even according to pro-Russian commentators, who acknowledge the serious harm caused. There is a strong possibility that Putin's decision-making lacks reliable information. Potentially relevant, the redacted 6 Telegram channel recently reported the arrival of hundreds of information operations staff from the Russian MOD in the Luhansk region. Their purpose seems to be fabricating fake videos of Russian battlefield successes. Allegedly, they are assembling fighters from various units to record these videos around Luhansk, giving the impression of being filmed on the front line. Such extensive efforts to create a facade of prosperity raise concerns that the situation on the front is far from stable, warranting accurate reporting. If this information is accurate, it likely involves the generation of fabricated photo reports for high-level commanders. Such an operation would require authorization from a senior figure. This prompts the question of who the intended recipients of these photo reports are. One possible explanation is that it aims to keep Putin content with the war's progress by presenting him with a stream of misleading reports. Special thanks to @Chriso_wiki on Twitter for providing this information, and I highly recommend following their account for crucial updates on the war. As for the ongoing implementation of Musk's rate limit on Twitter, I am uncertain how it will affect my research process in obtaining important news about the war. I sincerely hope it won't negatively impact my ability to gather information. Twitter has been an invaluable source of news throughout this conflict, and I hope this won't change. Another prominent figure emerging in Russian politics is Igor Gherkin, a Russian nationalist who played a significant role in Russia's 2004 invasion of Ukraine. He has been openly critical of Putin even before the coup, expressing dissatisfaction with Putin's handling of the war. Gherkin firmly believes that the country's leadership's approach will lead to the loss of any victories achieved by our army in this conflict. A year ago, nowhere faced an enemy attack, and the Russian armed forces held complete control. But now, in June 2023, the landscape has changed drastically. The president claims that around 140 to 180 tanks were destroyed in a matter of days. However, he seems oblivious to the actual data presented to him. One might wonder why the president fails to comprehend the information. It is because he lacks any first-hand knowledge of tanks beyond their parade appearances. His behavior appears unprofessional, almost childlike. The uneducated cadres in the highest ranks of the Russian Federation leave little chance for success in this war. It is evident that the military high command is feeding Putin false information, and he unquestionably believes everything he is told. Russia is genuinely losing the war, and Putin's dissatisfaction is evident. In response, he released 2 messages, the first being a video message. There have been numerous cases where rebels, who nearly brought the country to destruction, were promised amnesty only to be hanged later. While not advocating for the execution of Prigozhin, the fact that he faces no punishment reveals a greater crime, breaking promises made by the state's leader. A true leader must take action against such mutiny that pushes the country to the brink of ruin, as failing to do so displays powerlessness. Putin challenges those responsible to try again, but he admits he lacks the courage to punish those who forced him to flee to St. Petersburg. Such crimes cannot go unpunished. Although Putin expected more cooperation from Prigozhin, he now contemplates the possibility of promising everything to him and then ordering his execution later. They were unable to achieve even that much, indicating Gherkin's dissatisfaction with Prigozhin being granted amnesty following a coup. He seizes the opportunity to criticize Putin, who in his fear during the coup fled Moscow for St. Petersburg to seek refuge. Gherkin's discontent with Putin has been simmering for some time, but now he intensifies his attacks, raising questions about his potential plans. It's worth noting that Prigozhin increased his public assaults on Shoigu and the Ministry of Defense while plotting the coup. Gherkin doesn't stop at that. He releases another message today, a simple text where he mentions Prigozhin's recent travel from Moscow to St. Petersburg and back to Belarus, openly moving around Russia despite being exiled to Belarus. This behavior goes unpunished, and Russia appears to accept it as normal. Gherkin references pictures of Prigozhin, taken while he freely roamed Russia, gathering his belongings, all while he was supposed to be in exile in Belarus. The lack of consequences for the inept and cowardly government leaders, along with those who fled when Prigozhin arrived, is a cause for concern. The president remains silent on these matters, which include leaders like Peskov, who left Moscow during Prigozhin's march towards the city, and Shoigu and Gerasimov, who were nowhere to be found during the coup when even Putin fled the city to hide. Gherkin warns that another rebellion is imminent, waiting for another defeat at the front to trigger it. Whoever starts the revolt will find no resistance, given the widespread discontent and lack of willingness to defend such an ineffectual and miserable government. You cannot salvage a nation whose rulers are so corrupt that they've forsaken even the basic instinct of self-preservation. Instead, they opt for inaction. Clearly, he anticipates numerous uprisings in response to how Putin handled the aftermath of Prigozhin's coup. If you fail to send a strong message that dissent will be severely punished, you are essentially conveying a message of weakness. Perhaps Gherkin himself is plotting another rebellion. He concludes by stating that the entire army holds animosity towards everyone, including Shoigu and Gerasimov. He mentioned that Prigozhin lacked sufficient support within the army, but the next individual might have it, and the Kremlin won't be able to prevent the army from seizing Moscow. I'll closely monitor Gherkin and his activities from now on, and I'll undoubtedly create another video if significant developments arise. Make sure to subscribe and remember to like this video, as it's one of the best ways to support this channel. Thank you, everyone.